Here I am again with more about 910's books. The very first book we printed was a book that we had already released when we first started the company by Kate Atherley. It's called Custom Fit Hats. We released it as an ebook. When Kate and I formed the company in 2020, we had already been working together on this book that she had written. I was her editor for it. And then we were like, hold on a second, we're starting a publishing company. So we released the ebook version. 910 crowdfunds are major releases because they're so expensive to make. When we ran our very first Kickstarter back in 2022, and it succeeded wildly. That's another story. I'll tell it to you when I introduce the book Sheep, Shepherd, and Land. And we were like, oh God, okay, here we go. We're going into making print books. And we were like, well, let's do a bit of a test print. We adapted the PDF from the ebook of Custom Fit Hats, and we released it as a print book in a very short run. It gave us the experience of fully producing a book in print. And then it was super popular. So we did a reprint for it. It's very Kate. If you appreciate Math for Knitters because you love the way Kate approaches introducing the concepts of how math and knitting interact, this book is the last hat book you will ever need, like that last hat pattern, because it's not a pattern. It is more like a recipe. So the way this works is you start with any yarn and any needles. You start knitting from the center of the crown out. Most hat patterns in knitting start at the brim, at the full circumference, and then eventually when you're done, you decrease down to close up at the crown of the hat. This book works in reverse. So you start this by knitting with whatever yarn and needle size you choose. Then you sort out the gauge you're knitting to, and you fill in the measurements you want your hat to be, whether you want it to be a slouch hat or a beanie style or a roll-up brim, whether you want it to be striped or, however you want to do it. You plug those numbers in, and then you get like how much total you should increase, how many stitches you should have in the end, all of the kind of rest of where you go. So if you are a knitter who loves knitting from your stash, you have a ton of odd balls of yarn, you just want to churn out some hats, Custom Fit Hats is your book. It is available globally. It's available through our website, but we urge you to order it through your local yarn shop or your local bookstore, or ask for it at your public library. Custom Fit Hats. Keep your heads warm.